understand that we're now joined by Neeshan Balton from the Kathrada Foundation. Good evening, Neeshan, and obviously very, very sad news. And you put out such a poignant message on the news of George Bizos' death. The foundation, of course, is incredibly saddened. Just tell us a little bit more from your perspective about George Bizos this evening.
Uncle George was a dear friend of the foundation and of Ahmed Kathrada, and it was a friendship that went back way before the Rivonia trial and even was strengthened substantially afterwards as well. He was somebody that came to many of our functions, supported many of the causes of the foundation, and enjoyed particularly spending time with young people at the foundation through all of our work. I think his loss is of such magnitude that for us personally in the foundation, it's almost as if we were reliving the passing of Ahmed Kathrada as well today. He leaves an immense legacy of human rights work in this country that few will be able to emulate. He's worked at the Legal Resource Center for the last 30-odd years, where he was really an employee up until his last few days, until that he was on the payroll until the last few days, and regularly went to his office to do his work, to do his 8 hours a day, up until about, I think, a couple of months ago when it was no longer possible for him to do that. But such was his dedication, and through the Legal Resources Center, the work around Marikana, the work around the political prisoners in different parts of the world, detainees during the apartheid period, and also serving in all of the major trials in this country, including the Rivonia trial. I think it's just the kind of pioneering legal work and legal advocacy work that Uncle George will be sorely missed for.
Absolutely. Are you able, and have you had any contact with the family, are you able to give us any more information about the circumstances of his death, what led to his ultimate demise this evening?
Not at all. Unfortunately, the only statement that we've seen is from Saheti, the school that Uncle George helped to initiate and for which he was a patron. I did speak to the Legal Resources Center, who confirmed his passing on, and I'm told that they will be making, the family and the Legal Resources Center will be making an official statement on his death and all the proceedings that will follow, probably within the next hour or two.
I'm sure the news will, yes, I'm sure the story will continue to develop. You know, you mentioned that he was a great friend of Ahmed Kathrada, and it is so sad every time we lose one of the icons of the struggle. There's a sense that maybe not even the chapter, but the book is starting to close on this era. Just reflect a little more, if you would, on the legacy that those greats have left us.
I think the legacy is really defined for me by the notion of selfless service without the expectation of reward or recognition. And if you look at all of them, I mean, that is what defined their contribution to freedom in this country, to the freedom struggle. Was not the kind of titles and rewards, deservedly or undeservedly, that many would seek today. And that their willingness to sacrifice life and limb for the cause of freedom is without that reward or recognition, I think is their most outstanding feature. One that very few today would be able to match up to.
Yeah, I mean, we've just had so many disappointing years in South Africa, and the corruption, and the president just this evening mentioning how so many of our state entities have been hollowed out by state capture, and a sense that we've got to try and regain that. When did you last speak to him? Did you speak with him often?
No, regrettably. he wasn't, I think his public profile and his public availability stopped for about over a year ago. And I think the last occasion we would have seen him probably was over a year and a half ago. And I forget at which function of the foundation that was. If I'm right, it was at one of the memorials of Ahmed Kathrada that we last saw him. But we have been keeping in touch with him telephonically, just checking on his well-being through the Legal Resources Center and with other people who were associated with his well-being. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for just coming through to us and chatting to us this evening. Neeshan Balton there from the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, telling us that, of course, Uncle George, as he puts it, was very good friends with Ahmed Kathrada, and the two men enjoyed a very good friendship. And, yeah, it really is the end of an era, and we are obviously hoping to speak to people who want to remember him and pay tribute to a remarkable man, and we are hoping to speak to Barbara Hogan in a few moments, and my producer will let me know when she is on the line. But